Dak Prescott and the Cowboys facing a Green Bay team struggling through a 5-game losing streak. Packers down 14 late in the third quarter, but rookie receiver Christian Watson finally had his day, 3 touchdown grabs. Packers tied it up, now OT. This call, much discussed. Cowboys 4th and 3 from the Green Bay 35. Instead of kicking a field goal, they call a pass. McCarthy, in his return to Lambeau, wildly frustrated as Rodgers and the Packers win it.
4 seasons.
It's hopefully a turning point that leads us to go on a streak. Sometimes you can't explain the feelings that you have and the energetic waves that maybe come and go during the week, but I just had a feeling all week we're going to win this game.
And I thought we were in total control. That in overtime, obviously the penalties and the things, very, very, very frustrating. And that's, you got to overcome those things. And this group of men, they have it. But I'm just disappointed for them.
Very, very, very frustrating. Very. Hey, it's great to have Alex back with us. But Steve, let's start with you here. Can he really put it on the officials? They were up by 14, and there was that call.
Please don't tell me that's what he was trying to do.
I hope not.
That is not. Because I have to say this, and I unfortunately, I think it has meaning. The Cowboys started to do Cowboy things again, where they underperformed to their talent and to the expectations. And it's like, come on. They could bury the Packers. They're up by 14. They go 0 for the fourth quarter. They punt the whole fourth quarter. It is about the Cowboys, and we have to ask ourselves, if they're going to play great defense and run the football and they can't keep a lead, who are these guys?
Yeah.
I worry.
No question. I think for me, a couple things here. Where did this Dallas defense go? They gave up over 200 yards passing. And then this big decision by Mike McCarthy, right? This is the reason you're there. You're the head coach for situations like this. It's 4th and 3 for the game in overtime. The big decision, and there's a lot into going for it. To steal one from you, Steve, what's the play call? Look at this.
I don't mind it as long as you have a play.
Nobody's even
Alex,
looking
I look
at
at
the
this
quarterback.
play. What is the play?
He's at the top of his drop. What do you want Dak to do? Then they get pressure and he goes down. So for me, I know we look at analytics as head coach, and that's really kind of become a hot topipic. But again, what is the call?
Who was primary there? Who was primary on the game on the line? Who was primary?
Nobody wanted it.
I don't know where Dak was looking.
Yeah,
I felt bad for him.
It's easy to look at that and say, hey, just kick it. It's a 53-yard field goal. Give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
But I think they lost the game even before they got to that moment.
Of course, it's never one play.
Right?
But
I think they lost before they ever got there with Dak turning the football over. The team the Cowboys weren't playing complimentary football. Right? Early in the game, in the second quarter, they get a sack fumble, give the Cowboys offense the ball on the 10-yard line, and Dak goes out there and throws an interception. They get no points on that. He threw that pick on 3rd and goal, and we talked about what are they going to do, Steve? They're going to run the football, play great defense, as you said before. But if Dak's turning the football over, that is not allowing them to go out there and play the style of offense and defense that they want to do.
Well, and to your point, you talk about the style of football they want to play with that defense. They give up 200 yards rushing when you talk about a Green Bay Packer team that can't bust a grape all year long. They allow Christian Watson, who we thought was maybe a bust, dropping balls to get over 100 yards. So I think if you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys, this was a loss in totality. We can question the coaching decisions. We can question the quarterback. We can even question how they used Micah Parsons yesterday because he was a non-factor whatsoever. I think if you're Mike McCarthy, you have to go back and examine. We think we have a pretty good team, but we failed all the way around yesterday.
And after all that, they could have buried the Packers and Aaron Rodgers out of the playoff hunt. Now they have life, and all because of what the Cowboys do.
A little bit. Not much.
They got life.
They got life.
They got life.
The Cowboys have to face the Vikings next. And to your point, Steve, so let's see where this puts both of these teams in terms of the playoff picture. Despite the loss, the Cowboys still have a 99% chance to reach the playoffs as one of the wild cards in the NFC. The Packers only have an 18% chance to make the playoffs, according to ESPN Analytics. 5th among the teams not currently leading their division.
Like, Susie, you see who's standing on the right over there? At number 12?
Okay. Guess what? That's the same guy that's been standing there all year long.
I know, but
that's the same guy now.
I'm with
Okay,
you.
boy.
But
It's
all of
the
a
same
sudden
guy.
he gets a running game. All of a sudden he gets some confidence with his young receivers.
But maybe
all of a
it's-
sudden he gets some defense. like Tom Brady's getting, and you're going to say, oh, that's not number 12 over that can go win an MVP?
Because it might be too late because they have a really tough
That's
road
what I-
ahead.
They have.
I agree with that part. They might have waited too long.
They're 4-6. They got 7 games left. At worst, they need to go 5-2, 6-1 to have an opportunity. I think it's too little, too late.
It's possible.
The formula that they need to play by. We said it since March. We knew the receivers were going to be an issue. Run the football with McThickums in the backfield.
There you
and
go.
Jones. Allow the offensive line. No doubt. Allow the offensive line to come off. It was almost as if the coach said, you know what? We tried to make Aaron Rodgers the star again, and he failed us in Detroit through all those picks. Now let's come back. I'm going to take the ball out of his hands, and we're going to run the football. And amazing what happened. You run the football, the defense plays better, your offensive line protects better,
Deep ball down the field.
but it's too little too late almost.
They
Yeah.
have the Titans this Thursday, and then they have the Eagles. But did you see anything that does give you hope?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this was like their Undertaker game for any WWE fans out there. Like, everybody's saying the Packers are done. They're in the casket. They're burying them. And they just rose up out of nowhere. And as long as the Packers stay committed to who they are, running the football, not putting too much on their wide receivers, holy Christian Watson pops up out of nowhere. He has 4 catches for 3 touchdowns and 107 yards. It's because they're not trying to go out there and target him 10 times. They're not trying to have Aaron Rodgers throw the ball 35, 40 times a game. Their recipe for success is to lean on A.J. Dillon and McThickums and Aaron Jones and run the football. That's going to help not only their offense and their offensive line and pass protection, but it's going to help their defense not be on the field as long.
Here's the thing about that Undertaker. Everybody shows the Undertaker get up, rise up. Nobody ever shows him get out the casket. Nobody ever shows him getting out the casket. He just raises up.
Wait, WWE is real?
Oh, my goodness. Guys, don't crush the
that's what
kids'
it
hopes out there. I was a 12-year-old once. I thought WWE was real as well.
Think about how draining all of this is. Matt LaFleur, he was choked up after the game, too.
It was because the emotional, the expectations. You've got the whole, look what happened with Derek Carr. We're going to talk about him in an hour. Like, the emotion is real. Like, it is, and the desperation of what happened and how Aaron played in Detroit.
Especially there. That's an entire state's hopes and dreams
Yes.
running on that team. And it has been a rough year. I think you see a lot come out in the press conference post-game with Coach LaFleur.
And again, down by 14 in the fourth quarter in Lambeau Field and pull it out.
It was a
and
good win. It was a good win. Let's not go
save your
overboard.
season.
It's a good win.
Speaking of good wins, we're going to try really hard not to overhype the undefeated Eagles tonight. We're going to try not to overhype
Really, you?
Jalen
You?
Hurts as potential MVP.
Hey.
But if you're
Whoa.
if you're
Sound
gonna come
stroke
like this,
siren. Come on now.
Robert, tell me, what do you think? Just
Oh
tell me
my
one word.
Lord.
What do you got?
Trip, came through dripping. What you got, Bug?
Hey, listen, look at that. That says, you know what? I'm coming to preach a sermon tonight. Well,
Hey, he
I
looked
want
like
y'all to watch me
that's
tonight.
very Pink Pantherish right there. I love it. The burger. Yeah.
guys, later, Robert brings us amazing access with Hurts and 2 of the greats that came before him in Philly. It was a really meaningful conversation, Robert. We are looking forward to
Did you
that.
pull that off, RG?
He did. Double-breasted. That's how
Just
he
getting
rolls.
started on the
Come
weekend
on.
edition of Money in
Hey,
the
man,
Countdown. On
we
the
do what
way,
we gotta do.
Yesterday's overtime.